We're here with Alvin from Plurk. So, hey, so you're Malaysian, I understand.
I'm Malaysian.
And actually, how do you end up in Canada?
Well, I went to the States at 19 to study, just like some people do. And then I spent, I graduated 4 years later.
Uh-huh.
And I spent another 4 years working there. So I probably spent like 6 years or 7 years in the States. And then one of my friends in Toronto was like, you want to come up here and, we can do some web startup and stuff. I said, yeah, why not?
Okay.
So I went there. I don't have any friends. It's a very beautiful city.
Oh,
Spent 1 year in Toronto. And then, the thing that we worked on, Plurk, apparently got very popular in Asia. So I think around 2009 Chinese New Year, so I came back to Malaysia, spend some time with my family and stuff.
Okay.
And after that, I didn't go back to Toronto. I decided to tour around Asia, starting with Taipei.
So then, how long were you touring around with Asia actually?
The funny thing is, I planned to spend 2 weeks in Taipei.
Okay.
Or it ended up being 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, the response. I was planning to go to Taipei, Hong Kong, Philippines, and Tokyo, because this is where our top 5, traffics come from. And the thing is, the first 2 weeks in Taipei, it's just crazy. I was like meeting just 5 or 6 Plurkers. It's like, I Plurk, I'm in Taipei right now. Who wants to meet up? And some people, they private Plurk me, and apparently one of them a reporter. So he asked me for an interview. I did it and printed. And for the rest of the 2 weeks, everyone wants an interview. Every TV station in the 1 month period, I appear in almost all the magazines and all the TV stations.
Oh, okay.
So there's not time to really go anywhere else, because all the media activities, all the talks, and all the attention are being focused on Plurk right there. And my co-founder in Toronto was like, what the hell did you do?
Was there a big traffic spike out of that, or was there something else? Or?
Yeah, I think it does help a little bit. Before I went to Taipei, there were already huge traffic spike, because apparently one of our users, a very popular novelist, and he met someone on Plurk, got married 24 hours there.
Wow.
This was like a huge news, and we noticed the traffic spike at Toronto, and no one was knowing, like, did we get covered by TechCrunch? Did someone write about us? We have no idea where the traffic comes from. We nailed it down to Taiwan, but none of us read any Chinese. I read a little bit of Chinese, and then we found out. It's amazing.
So I want to take it back in terms of what was the original inspiration for Plurk?
Well, when we first started, we just tried to solve some of the problems that we were facing among 3 co-founders. We call it the supper problem. Every night we want to go to supper.
Okay.
Right? And it's hard to ask everyone whether you want to go to supper. And you can do it by email, but he probably will reply you the next morning. Does that make sense? If you do it by MSN, you have to pretty much ping everyone. Hey, do you want to go to supper? Do you want to go to supper and stuff like that?
Okay.
And back then, Facebook and Twitter wasn't really, big or anything like that. So we just want something that doesn't have any, pressure. When someone ping you at MSN, if you don't reply, that's kind of rude.
Yes.
You know that, and the email is not real time. So we just try to, solve this small problem for us. And then we think that back then it's like 140 characters. Who else is doing it? Twitter. Why do they jump up, response and individual tweets?
Yeah.
So, the very first prototype of Plurk is a new timeline, a new UI design, but all the responses are grouped together, like a forum.
Okay, so this is nothing much. What was the inspiration for the headless dog?
Oh, it was actually designed by a Hong Kong designer.
Uh-huh.
We want Plurk to be something fun, less serious. But it's not like Hello Kitty kind of cute or fun. It's like a dark humor fun. It's creepy. It's mysterious. So we asked him to draw some some creatures, some slogans, and some stuff to do a branding design for us. So he came out with that. Ever since that, if you go to Plurk, you see like emoticons, you can design your own timeline. All this kind of stuff are never going to appear on Twitter or Facebook. They have clean interface and everything, so we try to go the other way. So,
okay. So tell me, what do you actually do now? I know you're still involved in Plurk, but
right. Well, I spend 50% of my time at Plurk, and then another 50% of it I'm doing. I went to the dark side. I'm doing VC funding, venture funding for Taiwan government, Li Kai-fu and stuff like that.
Okay.
We just closed the fund, and Li Kai-fu and Taiwan government and a couple of big corporates are LPs, limited partners. So we have incubations, we do Series A funding. So I'm one of the partners. There are 4 partners, so we do investing. I mean, it is called Taiwan Mobile Internet Funds, right? But we actually focus on startups that are in Southeast Asia. Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia are those places that we look.
what are the quantums of the fund actually? How much are you looking at?
For the first one, we closed at $5 million USD.
And for investment wise?
For program A, which is Series A, we are looking to invest 100K to 300K US. And for our incubation, I think it's all on the website. For our incubation, I think we're gonna have 2 classes. Each classes we're gonna take 3 teams, like 10,000 USD for 8% of the shares. All our term sheet and everything is gonna be open. Put out on the websites. Everyone can review the terms. Everything will be transparent.
So, and how is this going to be different from Innovation Works actually?
Well, Innovation Works only deal with startups in China.
Okay.
So, and Li Kai-fu wants, he sees a lot of potential in Southeast Asia and Taiwan, but he doesn't really have a lot of time to manage 2 funds. So he wants us, he throw in $1 million, a couple millions, and he wants us to hopefully to be able to replicate, reproduce whatever success that he has been able to do it in China.
So I mean, you've been looking around at Malaysian startups, and I mean, your comment about Ethic TV and stuff like that. What do you think about the startups in Asia, specifically Malaysia for now? Or
well, I think it's good. It's good enough. I know. I mean, the stuff that I've seen, it is more polished. If you look at startups especially from Singapore and Malaysia, it is more similar. There are a lot more similarity between startups here to startups in Silicon Valley. Especially if you compare to startups in Taiwan, Tokyo, and China, we have a more tendency to actually try to reproduce what people have been working on, especially early stage companies in the US.
okay.
Which is not necessarily a good or bad thing, but it is just more familiarity. And I think a lot of people here actually, if you look at Active TV and if you look at TMI story, I really like what I'm seeing. So, I'm hoping to make a lot more trips back to KL and stuff like that.
Okay. So last question: is there any startups that really pique your interest within the last 6 months?
It's hard to pick one actually. Well, I love apps. I love games. I love anything that has anything to do with, social commerce and stuff like that. Of course, we have 4 different partners at TMI. Everyone loves different stuff. And so we have variety, we have different categories and stuff like that. So hopefully everyone gets to invest in startups that they really like.
Okay. So finally, if people want to get in touch with you, how would they actually go through?
Oh, they can just go to tmi.vc.
Okay.
There are 4 partners. All our emails are there. We have a contact form. We have like 6 analysts. Doing reviews and stuff. If you just email me, I'll reply back.
All right. Fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
All right.